Who will protect us from the storm? The sword that guards man from evil in a world of darkness and blood. Geralt of Rivia. Who is he? A witcher? A monster slayer? Warrior? Swordsman? Mutant? No, more like a hero. Someone who doesn't back down. Someone who's willing to sacrifice. Someone who's capable of heroic deeds. At one point, a question arose before us. If we were trying to retell the story of Geralt of Rivia in short, how would we do it? The answer to that question came quickly, through feats and exploits, through the incredible deeds that the White Wolf, Geralt of Rivia, accomplished, that defined his importance to the entire Witcher universe. His monumentality in the memory of the common people, historical chronicles and pages of memoirs of great kings. We will try to tell the whole story of Geralt of Rivia as briefly as possible, through the prism of his exploits, focusing on his great deeds. Because this is the old Witcher. Before we begin, we thank as always our patrons for the support, thanks to whom the videos on the channel continue to be released almost every week. We invite you to join the list of these awesome people on Patreon, or do the sponsor subscription right here on YouTube. But either way, get your tea and snacks ready. Here we go. The Blaviken Massacre. From the very beginning of his Witcher career, Geralt of Rivia set about acting to make his name go down in history. It is unlikely he did it consciously, but making powerful friends, breaking ancient curses, and slaying rare monsters, those things the White Wolf began doing long ago. In the very first years after he finished his training with Vesemir and Kaer Morhen and rode out on the path. Remember at least the adventure with the cursed nobleman Nivellen and his beloved Bruxa Verena. The white-haired Witcher took contracts of any complexity. With this, he earned himself a good reputation in certain circles. But his name really spread around the world only after the massacre in Blaviken, when the White Wolf earned one of the most famous of his nicknames, the Butcher of Blaviken. As you might have already guessed, the case took place in the town of Blaviken. Over there, Geralt met a sorcerer named Stregobor, and also a gang of bandits led by a certain Renfri. Renfri wanted to kill Stregobor with all her might, and Stregobor wanted to kill Renfri. Caught up in their complex relationship, so to say, was Geralt of Rivia, who had to make a difficult choice about which side to take. This choice, however, was made for him. When Renfri's gang decided to massacre people in Blaviken to get Stregobor out of his tower, Geralt stood up for the common people. He personally killed all the bandits from the infamous gang and even ended the life of Renfri herself. The people, however, did not know the context of what had happened, nor did they know why Geralt had carried out the massacre. Thinking him just a bloodthirsty beast, they threw the Witcher out of the town with shame and curses, getting him a new nickname, the Butcher of Blaviken. The Curse of Urchan, the Rescue of Pava. More than 10 years have passed since the events of Blaviken. During this time, Geralt earned himself the name of a second-to-none monster slayer, but the fame of the Butcher, who killed many people, did not leave the White Wolf. That is why he was feared. Nevertheless, the Witcher knew how to make acquaintances with influential people, and once destiny brought him together with a real royal family from Sintra. Queen Calanthe was holding a feast to celebrate the betrothal of Princess Pava, but the grooms that the princess was offered for some reason she did not like. It soon became clear why. The young princess already had a lover, and this very same lover came straight to the feast. You can only imagine the surprise of everyone in the hall when it turned out that the lover of the princess was a cursed knight with the face of a hedgehog. Everyone was even more outraged when they learned that the urchin had come for a reason. He had once pulled the late king of Sintra, Queen Calanthe's husband, out of mortal danger. The lord had promised Urchan anything he wanted in return for his rescue. Well, the man, cursed to look like a humanoid hedgehog, appealed to the law of surprise, sometimes known as the right of surprise. You will give me what you have, but do not know. When the king returned home, it turned out his wife had been pregnant. Under the terms of the treaty, he had to give the man his daughter. Of course, the obscure stranger was attacked after these words. Personally, Queen Calanthe ordered to kill him, but Geralt was against it and sided with Urchan. The law of surprise is sacred, and destiny will come for those who do not fulfill it. Geralt knew this, but the princess played a major role in the events. Pava suddenly let out a scream and surrounded herself with such powerful magic that she began to destroy everything around her. She was a source, a child of the Elder Blood. She possessed a powerful magical gift, and in a moment of extreme stress, with her own mother ordering her beloved Urchan to be killed, Pava unleashed the power. That power could have killed everyone at the festive feast in Sintra, but the situation was saved by Geralt of Rivia, who waited for the moment, risked his life to get close to Pavetta, and at the crucial moment was able to use the witch's sign to calm the princess down. Thus, the royal lineage was saved. When the dumbfounded Calanthe agreed to give her uncontrollable daughter to the cursed knight, the latter turned to a human. His curse was lifted, and Geralt, he suddenly asked for the law of surprise for his help too. Why? Who knows? Maybe it was meant to be, but from that day on, Pavetta was fated to give her child to the White Wolf, Geralt of Rivia, as payment for her salvation and loyalty to the law. Defeating the Djinn. It was only the very beginning of the witch's journey, and we already have the victory over a whole gang alone, and the rescue of the royal family, and the man who was freed from the curse of Urchan. Many more of the White Wolf's minor deeds have been left out of our attention, and now comes a real Djinn, and the acquaintance with the woman of his life, Yennefer of Vengerberg. One day near the city of Rend, Geralt was fishing in the company of his friend, the bard Dandelion. The bard fished out a mysterious jar, from which an equally mysterious and very powerful Djinn flew into the light. The Djinn began strangling Dandelion, and Geralt barely chased the monster away. Nevertheless, it left terrible marks on the bard's neck that prevented him from breathing. He could have died, so Geralt took him to the city. In Rend, the Witcher was led to a certain sorceress named Yennefer. Allegedly, she was the only one who could help in such a difficult situation. The sorceress did hear about the Djinn and used Geralt and Dandelion to gain power over the Djinn, but she did not have the strength. The mighty creature arrived and destroyed half of Rend before it could be controlled. It did not obey Yennefer, and it was Geralt of Rivia who was able to control it. It turned out that Geralt is the master of the Djinn, that he can make 3 wishes. Only then would the Djinn leave. It was Geralt who opened that amphora fished from the lake. 2 of the wishes the Witcher made unknowingly, but the third, he wished to be with Yennefer forever. He fell in love with the sorceress. Since that time, a strong feeling had arisen between the sorceress and the Witcher. That would be true love. Love which over time ceased to be tied to the wish, and became a strong independent feeling. And the city of Rend, with the help of a couple of words from Geralt of Rivia, was saved from complete destruction. The Curse of the Striga. But family life was not for the Witcher. Geralt and Yennefer broke up pretty quickly. They would break up and come back together many more times. The White Wolf went on to do his work, killing monsters, and destiny once again led him to a royal family. This time the target was once again a cursed person, a girl, the daughter of the Temerian king Foltest, Princess Ada. At night, she often turned into a bloodthirsty Striga, taking many lives in a bloody frenzy. But Foltest did not give permission to kill her. He dreamed of curing the girl. Of course, this contract was taken up by Geralt. He found the culprit who had imposed the curse, defeated and deceived the Striga in a duel, spent the night in the crypt of the Striga, and in doing so, he broke the curse. Of course, he earned a terrible wound on his neck, but a fat purse of coins from Foltest and friendship with the great king of Temeria meant much more. Victory over the ghouls. A lot happened after the Striga situation. It is worth mentioning that the Witcher caught up with the destiny connected with the very child of surprise, whom he requested as payment for the rescue of Princess Pavetta, Urchan, and the entire court in Sintra. The girl was born. She was given the name Ciri. Soon Pavetta and Urchan died on a voyage, at least according to official sources. And Ciri was left an orphan, raised by her grandmother Queen Calanthe. Geralt thought of giving her up, but destiny would not let the White Wolf go so easily. When war broke out and the city of Sintra fell, the Witcher thought Ciri had died in the siege. He berated himself for never being able to save her, and on his endless journey he met a merchant named Jurga. The merchant was stuck above a cursed place, a pit that was crawling with ghouls. Geralt set out to protect him. During the night that the Witcher had to endure, he slaughtered dozens, maybe even hundreds of ghouls. He was a true messenger of death to the monsters. He performed a true feat, saved another man's life, regardless of his own. One of the creatures, however, left a gruesome wound on his leg. Only a miraculous meeting with his mother Vicenna allowed Geralt to survive. And then the grateful Jurga drove Geralt to his home. And in that house was her, the child of destiny, Pavetta's daughter, Princess Ciri. It turned out that she had survived the siege of the city of Sintra. She managed to hide among the refugees. Jurga's wife picked her up there, not even realizing her status. She simply liked the girl, and the woman had always wanted a daughter. What a coincidence. 1 in a million. Or not. Not a coincidence. Destiny. The battle for the bridge at Yaruga. But destiny is a tricky thing. One day it gives you what you want, and the next it cruelly takes it away. The Witcher did not stay with Ciri as long as he would have liked. At one point, along with the girl as well as his beloved sorceress Yennefer, Geralt arrived on the island of Thanet. He hoped to find answers to the questions, how to protect Ciri, and so on and so forth. After all, herself, like her mother Pavetta, was a child of the Elder Blood, possessing incredible power, which, even though she could not yet control, in theory could be the key to even greater power. And so she was hunted by the powerful, from emperors and kings to mighty sorcerers. Also, Ciri was still the heir to a fallen kingdom. All in all, there were plenty of reasons for many important people to seek her out. However, the Witcher was unable to protect Ciri. There was a coup on Thanet. Ciri, with Yennefer's help, fell into the company of people who wanted her power. She had to flee. A major battle broke out. Geralt defended Ciri, but was brutally defeated in a fight with Vilgefortz. However, the girl escaped on her own, to a portal, to the middle of nowhere. And the Witcher, from then on, he was doomed, or rather to say destined, to search for Ciri, all over the world, to find companions, friends, and then to find her. His search had led him into all sorts of trouble, but one of them might be called a feat. Geralt's journey took him right into the middle of a battle between the armies of Nilfgaard and Lyria, the battle for the bridge on the Yaruga River. Over there, the Witcher was forced to throw himself into the battle, and with his skill he amazed everyone. He sided with Lyria, killed the Nilfgaardians by the dozens, and almost personally tilted the tide of battle in favor of the army of Lyria. He forced the formidable Nilfgaard army to retreat. He was like a true god of war, because he had a purpose, and the battle on the bridge was only an obstacle to that goal, to find Ciri again. We entered the above-mentioned situation from a certain position, that is, starting from the middle of the river Yaruga and surrounded by armed men on both sides, right and left. Since we could thus escape to nowhere, we became heroes, covered with immortal fame. The battle was won by the Lyrians because they achieved what they intended, namely to escape to the right bank. The Nilfgaardians who had fled in an unknown direction had lost the battle. We helped the Lyrians in their scheme, as it happens. Queen Meve, the ruler of the Lyrian forces, was truly shocked at what had happened. She had never hoped to get that victory, and after that she granted the Witcher Geralt real knighthood. Geralt of Rivia became Geralt of Rivia, a knight of Queen Meve, but he could not continue his journey with the queen. Ciri remained his only goal. Soon the Witcher ran away from the Lyrian camp as a deserter. He did not care though. Battle with Vilgefortz. Geralt's long journey continued for months, and one day all fates brought him, the child of destiny Ciri, and his beloved sorceress Yennefer together in one distant castle, Stygia Castle. It was the fortress of the sorcerer Vilgefortz, the most cruel and persistent of villains, the one who wanted to get his hands on Ciri's power at any cost. He had to be defeated, but he was incredibly powerful. When Geralt and Yennefer got to him, even together they could not hold him back. He scattered them like toys, defeating them on both the magical field and the physical battlefield. He proved far more skillful than Geralt even in swordsmanship. Geralt's friend Regis, a higher vampire, was simply melted by Vilgefortz with his hands. Given the power of higher vampires, their ability to recover from any damage, even if their heads were chopped off. This crushing defeat over such a powerful opponent spoke of Vilgefortz as a sorceress of immense power. But still he was also human. If he got hurt, he bled. And when Vilgefortz felt victorious, when he became proud and let his guard down and got too close to Geralt, he suddenly failed to notice a simple illusion spell. That is when he became vulnerable. Even a deity is vulnerable in moments of pride. It only took Geralt a second. He killed one of the most powerful sorcerers to ever set foot on the continent. And then he was reunited with his destiny, the girl Ciri and his beloved sorceress Yennefer. Death, Malice Island, and sacrifice. But Geralt didn't get to enjoy his reunion for long. It wasn't long before he arrived in Rivia. There was a massacre in the city, the so-called pogrom. Humans were killing elves, dwarves, and anyone who looked different from them. The Witcher stood up for the innocent. He started killing people with pitchforks and shovels who had turned into beasts that night, and he paid dearly for it. The guy he didn't want to kill, the one that he took pity on, very young, just out of the crowd. He took advantage of Geralt's second of confusion and stuck a pitchfork into the witch's chest. Death, that's what it was. Not from a sorcerer's magic, not from a dragon's teeth, not from the sword of the royal executioner, death by a pitchfork held in the hands of some unknown lad. This was supposed to be the end, but destiny had led Geralt down this path for a reason. Ciri, the one he sought and found, she saved him, and she saved Yennefer, who also gave her life for the Witcher that night. And then there was the Malice Island, also known as the Isle of Avallac'h or the Isle of Avalon, and the Wild Hunt. The riders of Ainel came from another world to find Ciri. They too needed her power. They came for Yennefer and kidnapped her from the island, for they knew that Ciri would come for her. The Witcher, well, he escaped from the afterlife, from that island. He tracked down the Wild Hunt. He found Yennefer and traded his life for hers. He saved the one he loved, paying the highest price he could, the aging Witcher's final feat. For next, the world would see a different Geralt of Rivia. A new life awaits the Witcher, and new feats, which we will tell you about real soon. All we need from you guys would be a like, a subscription, the bell, and a comment. Let us know in the comments below which of the Witcher's feats should be included in this list. Maybe we left something out for nothing. And thank you to everyone who watched this video to the end. See you soon when the old Witcher speaks once more.